Morning. It's Friday the 19th. I'm getting ready for another weekend. Still stuck, but getting really close now. I do have other things to fix, like that fuel line, but today is going to be my pump day. So right now I'm getting ready to take this pump apart and show you what I got going on. Now this is a low budget, so all I'm doing is taking it apart, cleaning it up, making sure all the valves and everything are operating, and that's going to be it. I'm going to be ready to put this transmission back together because everything's ready. No, except for the other things that I broke, but I'm getting really close now. Okay, so this is the actual pump out of the 1995 480E. We've got, guess it's part number 21202263 L3, whatever that stands for, and whatever this crazy marking is, 190F. No, 19, and then whatever that thing is just a raised circle F. Anyway, I'm getting ready. 13 millimeter. Time to get this thing apart and see what's inside the star. Sorry for the shakiness. Wow, my blood sugar must be low. Okay, it's apart. The bottom needs to be drained out before I drill the holes. That return feed hole. The bushing in this looks brand new. Like I said yesterday, I think somebody had just taken this apart and put it back together because everything looks perfect, like it hasn't been used. Anyway, let me get in here and I'll start drilling, and I'll bring you right back. Okay, enough of the shakes. I got my tripod out. I first would like to check the moon gears. Oh, it's got some wear, like where the thing was banging. And I don't know if you can see that. It's kind of an uneven wear where it's spinning in there. Hope you can see that. Anyway, I'm going to measure this thing because there's a less than 3/1000 of an inch tolerance in here. 0.0008, which is 8/10,000ths to 28 thousandths. Only 2 thousandths tolerance. And like the one I measured yesterday, this one is 776. The one yesterday out of the other one is 777. So I think that is the tolerance they shoot for, is 777 on these. And this one should be the exact same size as that, by the way. And it is not. This is 777 like the ones from yesterday. So I'm going to assume that my inner gear, 776. So it's within 1,000 of the other ones. So that's not so bad. Now, as far as the race or surface goes, well, it's got wear lines in it, but nothing that looks like it would really affect it. Everything feels pretty smooth and sharp. Be careful. You really should wear gloves, but I refuse. And let's measure what our depth is. We got to be within, say, 2.5 thousandths. So want to be like 777 to 780 would be my tolerance here. I got 775. That's got to be a bad reading because then it would be too tight to actually function. Well, I wouldn't say too tight to actually function, but it would really, really cause a bunch of wear by being over tight. So let's take a couple measurements on this and see if we can get a different number out of this. Okay, so in the deep corner, it's actually at 779 and a half, if you can see that. So that's 2.5 thousandths. I could deal with that. The torque converter can deal with that. The pump can deal with that. So we should be good with about 2 thousandths clearance in there. Okay, on to the next thing. Okay, so I pulled these gears out, and there's dots on this, which means it faces you when you put it back in. But if you forget which one of these, which way this went, if you put these together like this, you can actually see where the wear lines cross over the teeth together. You see, I can see the wear lines on this, so now I know which way this is oriented, although I do not believe it even matters. But just in case you think it does like I think it does, there you have that. So now I put a center punch right here. I know you can probably not even see that because my fat finger might be in the way, but right there, I'm going to drill this with line to lube hole. It keeps constant lubrication flowing through. And I had to go and buy another drill set because when I was fixing the, which I haven't finished yet, by the way, when I was fixing the broken bolts, I snapped like 4 drills trying to get to that tool steel. And one of them happened to be the size that I needed to get the thread out. Anyway, I'm going to start drilling this, and I'll be right back. Okay, so that was quick and easy. You can see the hole right there. Now that'll keep a constant fluid flow going through there. I'll be right back because I'm going to set up for the next hole to be drilled. So to get to get underneath here to drill this relief hole bigger, I've got to remove, seems like such a waste of an almost brand new seal. And the only way I know how to do these things without puller tools is to just destroy them. So I'm going to take a screwdriver and keep it flat against the housing. I'll get my tool out of the way before I hurt it. And just pretty much destroy the rim of the seal until you can get the screwdriver under it, which I can't yet. So I'm going to finish this real quick because it's going to take like 5-10 minutes. Be careful of the screwdriver you use. This one, there you go. This one's pretty gnarly, so when I was hitting it, I started putting scratches on here, which I'll get out. But if you're going to do this, take some sandpaper and clean up the edges on your screwdriver so you're not gouging. Look, see, really nice and smooth now, so there will be no more gouging. My bad, but I can fix it. It's not a problem. Didn't damage anything harshly. So as you keep pounding around, the seal will slowly come loose, and inevitably you'll be able to pluck this thing out. And I'll be right back once I get this out. I have a visitor. Okay, so my lovely visitor is gone, and I'm continuing to get this seal out. And as you keep hitting it, you'll see the seal start to raise up, and you can see the flange is up now. So you just keep striking up, and then after a while it will just pop right up and out, because only this outer wall is actually holding the seal in. So as you keep compressing the outer wall, there you go. Simple as that. Of course it's destroyed, but you would never reuse one anyway. It never goes back in right. Okay, so I'm going to clean this lip up because, as you can see, when I first started with the sharp edges on that screwdriver, I put the little nicks in here, but they'll go away immediately. But what I need to do now is I'm going to take this hole right here, and I'm going to open it up to 1/4 of an inch for a better bleed back. So I'll be right back, and I'll be doing it in stages. I'll show you as I go. The original hole is a 5/32 hole. Now I'm going to step up through every one of these drills until I get to my 1/4" drill. So I'm going to do 6 drills in a row to slowly open it up so that I make sure I keep finding center. Because if you try to drill too much of an angle, you'll end up drilling out through this casing over here, and that wouldn't do anything but scrap this whole thing. Anyway, I'm going to start drilling, and after every drill I'll come back. So I thought I'd show you how quick this can be done if you do it by stepping up 1 drill at a time. It becomes very simple. Because the less material you're removing, the faster the drill will go through. Because you're not putting all that pressure against the drill bit. Nope. I forgot this kit comes with 2 of some size drills, and I just did that size. There you go. Check my center on my hole. I know you won't be able to see that, but you'll see that all around the rim of the hole is the same circular size, so I'm following the same path of the original drill. And I'll be back. So we've come to our last hole, the 1/4" bit. And this should be rather easy, but this thing will jump, so hold it. But you see how easy that was? If you keep going drill by drill by drill. And I don't know if you can see that in there, but you can see the hole coming through. And that's our new pass by. Keep that fluid flowing. And just to check, you can put your drill through there to see that it's actually gone through. I don't know if you can see that. It's so dark I can even barely see it. But yeah, it should be right in there. There you go. I'll edit this so you can see it better. But that's all that takes. Now it's time to start taking the rest of the housing apart. And if you drill a really good hole, it'll be tight. Okay. Good, there you go. Okay. Be right back. All right. Pump cover's done, clean. And now make sure your work area is clean, because you don't want that that cast iron getting inside anything. Definitely not inside here. So now I'll be taking all these valves out and checking everything, cleaning all the bores, making sure there's no gouging, making sure everything slides around nice and easily, making sure everything's tight, like pump tight. And then I'll put this back together and the pump will be done. And actually, I think that means the transmission gets ready to go back together, which I've been waiting for weeks now. Be right back. Okay, so I got this all out. And on taking it apart, everything was very, very, very snug, but very loose. Everything's moving beautifully, very smooth. So, like I said, I believe that this pump was rebuilt, and that's why it had yellow paint on it. And there's even paint inside what looks like after they replaced each valve, they painted the inside of the housing for what they replaced. So anyway, I'm going to clean this up real good, lubricate it real good, put it back together, and get on to the next component, because I'm not doing it all at one time. I'm doing it one at a time, putting it together. Because, like I said, I'm out here in the outside, so if it starts raining or something, I just want to throw all together, cover it up, and get it all going. Gonna have to do a little polishing, but I got plenty of Scotch Brite. It's got some traces of rust because everything's been out sitting around through rainstorms. Anyway, I'm going to put this back together and I'll be right back. So once again, everything came out. Everything looks perfect on this thing. And it was very, very tight to get it out. And I'll show you putting this back together. You barely feel it sliding, but it has like no play at all. You can't wiggle it at all. So I'm going to get this back together now. Roll pin guy. Make sure you always put the tang side of the roll pin to the inside, because the case, when it's back together, it will roll these pins to where they can never get out, because the cover is going to seal it in there. Anyway, let's get this this cap back in here. Find my wear line. There you go. So this goes in this way. All right, this is under pressure, so it's going to take me a minute. I'll be right back. And on to the next one. And once again, came apart easily, very snug, like a suction fit. Everything looks good. So we're going to put this back together, and then I'm going to oops, I'm putting this together wrong. Springs outboard on this side. When I don't know if I have anything else to do to this thing except to line it up and close it up. So I'm going to get this thing back together, put it aside, and go through the front end play before I actually lock this down in. So I will be back again and again. Well, I almost forgot this one. It's the littlest one and the hardest one to get out. It's actually a pain in the ass. These things are so tight, they're in there like with suction. So I'm guessing that means it's good. So I'm going to put this back together and I'll be done with this. And I just noticed this because I haven't been really paying attention. Setup okay. So somebody actually did go through this whole thing, and it all looks brand new. I'm anticipating this is not going to be a problem. So onward and upward, we're moving forward, and I'm going to put this whole thing back together again and be done with this now, except for, of course, my my O-ring, my you know what I'm talking about, the sealing ring at the end when I put it all back together with the torque converter. Okay, so everything's back together. Everything looks good, and somebody marked that it's okay in there. So I'm going to do the whole move 2 bolts and snug it up, and then I'm going to torque it to its 18 foot-pounds that it belongs at, and make sure that it's lined up properly. I'm going to use the case to line it up. Never done this before, so this is going to be intriguing. But I noticed that the bolts don't want to go in very easily if it's not lined up really close. So, I mean, I can feel it and it's really, really close. And I'm going to pull this O-ring out of here too right now, because that's not going to help with lining it up at all. Okay, so there you go. They're all snug. Next is tighten up and line it up. I pulled the seal off, and it's amazing how stretched out this seal got. Look, the other one actually sits completely inside it, so it's going to fit really nicely when it's done. Be back again. So, time to pull the big guns out. I'm going to do 12 first and then come back up to 18, sorry. Now this, well, 12 isn't all that much, obviously. My snug is better than 12. So we're going to go back up to 18. And just get this sucker done. Unbelievable how very loose 18 feels. But that's what it says, and that's what it's going to get. Just double checking. One more time around for good luck. A little extra muscle. This is metal, so it's not going to be something like you're going to strip the bolts out. Now, if I'm doing that in the aluminum, that's a different story. Okay, so we are once again ready to go. And I actually lined this up by hand myself. And by feel, I'm really, really good at this. You know, having done so much machine shop work. Yeah, actually it's funny because there's like a little, it's like somebody tried to pry this apart or something. Can you see that? Where I just sanded, there was like there was burrs sticking up outside the edge, and I don't need anything like that. Oh, and this is 220 grit. Not really going to hurt anything. But yeah, this all looks good. I'm going to give all this rust a quick sand off anyway, and spray it up with some WD-40 and put it aside until I'm ready to put the seal on and slide it back in. Well, I'm going to replace this real quick while I got this before I get back in here. And I have this screwdriver that I made from an old screwdriver. See how it's got that little hook in it? It helps me grab the rings when I twist them and flex them out. That little notch gets under a ring and I can pick it up. Anyway, I'm going to use that screwdriver to get this out because it's very smooth. And I'll be back. So while I'm over here, I'm going to get the fill tube rubber grommet out and replace that with its new one. So be right back.